Hi, my name is Thomas Russell, and this is the second video in the how to get your child hooked on reading, or sorry, 6 ways to get your child hooked on reading video series. So this is video 2, and the first video was about choosing and choice and helping your child to choose a book themselves to read. And this second video is about story time. Now I'm going to call it story time, and I'll probably say story time throughout the video, but it doesn't have to be reading of stories necessarily. It can just be reading any book that you and your child enjoy. So when I say story time, I could be referring to stories that you're reading to them, fact books. I could be referring to, let me think, sort of like information books, anything that you enjoy with your child that they enjoy with you. So story time is kind of the time when you're reading a story to them and they're sharing it with you and enjoying it with you. Now, this point might seem incredibly obvious. You might think, well, of course, no, we do story time, we do this, we share books with children. But what you might not realise is just how crucial it is to a child's overall reading journey, and how during this time they're actually picking up some essential skills that they're going to be using later when they're readers themselves. So this is a really, really important thing to do with children, to read a book to them, to share it with them so that you're looking at the pictures together. It's great for your family as well. It's a wonderful thing to kind of share together. Now, the thing that you may not have realised, may not have known, and it's definitely something that I didn't until fairly recently, that just how important this skill is to continue much longer than you would think. So this is a really fantastic thing to do for young children from as early as you like, from birth, reading to them, up till adulthood, if you can, or even beyond. I'm 34, love being read to. So this is something that can be really, really beneficial throughout. What I'm essentially saying is that keep going with it for longer than you would necessarily think. So when you've got a child who can read fluently, this is still a skill that's going to be beneficial for them in terms of understanding what they're reading, discussing things with you. I mean, above all, just modelling and showing that books form a core part of your family values, of what you enjoy doing together. It's absolutely fantastic. Okay, so having a sort of a regular story time with children and letting them take a part in choosing the books. I've heard of some people how when you have story time, you might take it in turns, because it might be that they choose one that they like and then you choose one that you like, because this whole process of story time, this is not just for them. It's wonderful for them, but it is for everybody. So sort of showing those skills as well, about a bit of give and take and different people choosing one, is absolutely fantastic. It's obviously slightly different to what we were talking about last time, about choosing books for children choosing books themselves to read themselves. But in story time, you know, you can practice those sort of decision-making strategies together, and you can introduce wonderful books that you enjoy to them. They can introduce them to you. So this is all about, I mean, getting children really hooked on reading, and then hoping that once children are hooked on reading, that this is going to then allow them to access so much more of those specific reading skills, because they're really interested in it. So have a wonderful story time with your children, and know that this is essential for them. This is fantastic for them. It's not only great fun for us as parents, but this is a really, really good thing for them to enjoy as well. So have a wonderful time reading stories to your children. Now, just before I go, I'm going to give you just a couple of tips that you can use if you want to put a couple of like sneaky little reading skills in there as well if you want to. Okay, so something that I love, and this is something that I do with a class for the children, or I do it with my 2 daughters, and that is finding a story either that they know particularly well, or a story that's a rhyming story or a repeating story, and getting to a part where they can begin to guess what is coming next, and pausing and letting them say the word. Now, I'm sure you probably already do that, but that is a really good sort of beginning way of getting them to take part in that. Now, what you can do to take it a little step further is, as you're doing that, make sure that they can see the word and just be pointing at the word, because what you're doing automatically then is you're building a bit of an association between them saying the word, them seeing it, and them hearing themselves say it as well. So that's something I say to children in my class a lot, about saying it, seeing it, and hearing it. If you can do all those three things at once, things are so much easier to remember. So sort of stopping, letting a child say that word, even though they're not reading it, they're saying it and seeing what it looks like on the page, and hearing it as well. And then you can say it again together if you want to. But that's a really good one, and that's a little tip that you can use in so many different ways. I mean, obviously that's just in a rhyme at the end maybe, or getting them to say a part of a repeated phrase. But when they can do that so easily, then you can actually get them to do more of it. You can get them to start the sentence off and say, well, you know what this is, so what word do you think that might be? If you're about to say this particular phrase, then what word is that going to be? Now, second one is just looking at recognizing sounds. So from the very beginning of learning to read, from the very beginning, I mean, even at home, before preschool, before school, or even in nurseries or in preschools, there's going to be some kind of sound recognition. There's going to be some kind of books where you're looking at with letter A and A sounds and things like that. So some of those things are going to become familiar to even young children, but older children as well are going to be able to recognise maybe slightly more sophisticated sounds written down. So when you open up a page before you get going, oh, what sounds can you see there? I mean, that's the kind of thing that you want to do if they're really into it. If you think that's going to switch them off, don't do it. Just go with the story. But if they're really into it and they're finding that that's a fun kind of thing to do, just what sounds can you find? Because being able to tell you what sounds they can see is amazingly rewarding for children, because you can just be, over the moon proud of them, and they'll be able to share some really exciting things with you. So yeah, give that a go. Have some fantastic story time. And don't forget to check out my blog at www.howtogrowabookworm.com. You're now about to see a short video of me reading a book to my two daughters, and I demonstrate a couple of the strategies that I've just talked about during story time. So you'll notice me pausing for my eldest to fill in some of the words, because there's rhymes and she can use strategies to guess what those words are. And you'll also at points see me pointing to the word, so that as she says the word, she can see it at the same time. There's a couple of other strategies that I use as well. I ask her to recognise some sounds and see if she can say things. And I'm just very lightly picking up a few reading skills and strategies in the book that I'm actually reading to her. And you can see throughout the process that both my eldest daughter and my youngest daughter, who's also getting involved, thoroughly enjoy the story. And I would say that they don't necessarily feel sort of like pressured into doing any particular reading strategies. It's kind of all just part of the fun process of having a story read to them. So have a look and see what you think, and please feel free to comment on it below. And also if you hit the subscribe button, you'll be able to see all following videos. So thank you very much.
Right, the monkey with a bright blue bottom. A long time ago, when the world was quite new, a monkey sat watching the birds as they
flew.
Well done. Like feathery rainbows, they flashed through the air. How come they're so pretty? He thought. What do you think he said next?
That's not
It's not fair.
fair.
That's right. That's right. All round him were creatures of every sort, some fat and some skinny, some tall and some short, but none of them purple or yellow or blue. They all looked as dull as an elephant. Pooh. That's right. I love you. The monkey walked down to the stream with a sigh. Then a vivid blue kingfisher bird darted by. He followed it down to a gap in the rushes, and there was a paint box with 1 or 2. What's that one?
Brushes.
Well done. Fantastic. What sound does brushes begin with?
Buh.
Buh. Buh, buh, buh. How about you? Can you go buh, 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 buh? Well done. Good girl.
That's back.
Bat, bat, bat. Yeah. He snatched up the paint box as quick as a wink, tried painting some flowers, and then had a think. Somebody painted this kingfisher blue. I'm going to paint all the animals too.
Oh my god.
The animal.
He's only brown.
He is. What colour are the other animals?
But no colour.
No colour. Are they no colour?
Yeah. They're
They
just
all-
grey.
Yeah. The animals always get out. Could you move your knee a bit, lovely? Sorry. Thank you. The animals always get out of the sun and go for a nap at 1:45. So when he was sure everybody was sleeping, with paint box and brushes, the monkey came.
Creeping.
That's right. Can you do a creep?
No, I can only do
Go
it.
on. That's pretty good creeping. I like it. He painted some frogs. Are you creeping as well? Oh yeah. Hey. He painted some frogs and a couple of snakes and thought to himself, yeah, that's it. What a difference it makes. Then feeling much bolder, the cheeky young fellow set to and painted a leopard bright.
Yellow.
That's right. Fantastic yellow.
And is that a lion or not?
What do you think?
A leopard.
Ah, fantastic. That's good. Which word on here do you think says leopard? Can you find it?
That one.
Well, what makes you think it's that one?
Because it has a L and an F.
Ah, very good. Nice. Just. What can you see now? What can you see?
Black spot.
That's it. Well done. Just then the big cat gave a growl in his sleep and Monkey shot into a tree with a leap. The black paint dropped out with a splash from the box. What can you see? What is he?
A monkey.
Can you go monkey? Nearly. Well done you. A monkey shot into the tree with a leap. The black paint dropped out with a splash from the box and fell on the leopard in little black.
Spot.
Yeah.
I said spots too.
You did. That's great, said the monkey. Then, just for a laugh, he painted brown squares on a yellow giraffe, black stripes on a zebra, and white on a... What's this one? Can you sound that one?
Skunk.
Well done. What's a skunk? What does a skunk do? How do you know that's a skunk?
Because it stinks.
Does it?
When it's scared.
Ah, nice. And both on the lemur asleep in his bunk. Hee hee, laughed the monkey. I'm having such fun. Then he spotted a bear fast asleep in the sun. He took out his brush and then, what a surprise! He painted white spectacles around
The bear's eyes.
Nice. Bear woke with a start and yelled, "What did you do?" Which woke up... Yeah, can you say that? What did you do?
What did you do?
How about you? What did you do? Which woke up the rest of the animals too. The monkey was so scared he practically fainted, surrounded by all... Do you want to do this bit? All of the creatures he'd...
Painted.
Well done. Painted. Painted. Well done. They all... my voice is going. And they all started yelling till Bear shouted, "Hush!" Then quietly picked up the paint box and brush. He painted the monkey's face red, white and blue, and then for good luck did his...
Bottom end too.
Well, you know that really well. Well done. That was good. And still to this day when the monkey goes by, the animals giggle, they laugh till they cry. His bum is still blue as a bright summer sky. He looks like a clown, and now you know why.
Yeah.
Wow, did you enjoy that, you two?
Yeah.
Yeah, was it good? Did you enjoy joining in?
Yeah.
Yeah.